Hi, this is Tracy from GiftBasketappeal, and we're going to be making a flower today. This is different from the flowers that I normally make. The flowers I normally make are smaller. This one is going to be a somewhat larger flower. So let's get started. First, you're going to need a template, and there's a lot of flower petal templates on the online. So you can go ahead and just search one. This one I just happened to cut out of a cereal box. I just traced it myself because I was comfortable doing that. But I just think the shape of bunny ears and then just cut them out. So we're going to use these to start with, and then you're going to have to pick the color paper that you want. You are going to need some type of circle for a base. And you can just use just about any kind of round thing. This is about a 4-inch wide circle, since our flower is somewhat larger, because you need a base for it to sit on. And my sister gave me a bunch of paper, and I thought I would do a blue flower and then maybe take some scrapbook pieces that I have left and use that to do the inner part of the flower. So what you're going to do is, or what I did was, I thought I would just go ahead and fold this over so that I can actually make a couple of these. So for that larger one, I can cut out a couple of sheets of these, or you can do them individually, but it will just save some time. So you're going to need 6 of the large and 6 of the small to form your flower petals. And so all I'm going to do is just trace. Super easy. And there's not many supplies needed for this particular type of craft. Okay, so you're going to need 6 of those. So I'm going to go ahead and trace those out and come back in a moment. Okay, so you'll need 6 of this larger one. I also went ahead and cut out the circle. And then you'll need 6 of these smaller ones too. And so all I did was just traced it again. And imagine you could actually make a ton of these flowers, and they're great for decorations. I'm actually going to use this to decorate a gift since I have some birthday parties to go to. So rather than using the pre-made bows, I think it'll be nice to decorate the gift with flowers. Okay, so we got 6 of these, 6 of these, and now what you're going to do is you're going to take these, take 2 at a time, and you're going to cut a slit. And that's going to help you form your petal. And you're just coming halfway up. And the reason why you're doing that is because you want to be able to make your flower petal look like that. Okay, so you're just going to go at least halfway up your flower. Okay, and I went ahead and cut a few more. And you're going to do the same thing with these. Come up like that. Do the same thing to these. And this idea came from Pinterest. There's also several YouTube videos that show you how to do the large flowers. And so I thought I would go ahead and give it a try. Okay, so now that we have those all done, we're going to go ahead and take our flower petals. Let me show you what you're going to do. And you're going to go ahead and roll it around a pencil or some other type of item. But I think the pencil works well because this is a larger flower. I usually use skewers, but this is just perfect. And so all I'm doing is just rolling it around there, and it just makes that curl at the end, because you're going to need that, because when we start forming our petal, we want it to be like that. Yep, just like that. So we're going to do this. It's just easier for me to do it from the back part, because this is going to actually be the back part of our flower. Roll it, pull it out, easy. Imagine all that paper that's sitting around the house. Why not make a bunch of beautiful flowers? And you could use these throughout the year for decorating gifts. So you don't have to use them right away. It'd be nice to have a stash of them for gift giving, or whatever you want to use these for. You could decorate for a party. You can have them laying all around the table as decorations. So there's so much you can do. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of these, and then we'll get started putting our flower together. Okay, so once you have everything cut out and curled, the smaller ones you don't have to curl as much, and that's going to be the inside part of your flower. The next thing you want to do is you want to start gluing these. And to do that, I'm going to use my favorite art glitter glue because it dries clear and it dries fast. Okay, so one thing to remember when you're doing these flowers is that you're going to pull it in to make the petal, to make it more like a petal. So the more you pull it in, the more it's going to be more condensed, if that's the type of flower you want. I want mine to be out just a little bit flatter, so I'm just going to go ahead and glue it just like that. But if you want it to be a really tight petal, you just pull it in more, basically. So you can adjust it however you want. So I'm just going to take a little bit of my glue and just hold that together. And that's going to form my flower. I'm just going to do that for each of these. I love this art glitter glue. It just holds so well together. I've had this obsession with making flowers. And that's why you see me sending all these tutorials your way, is because I just love making flowers or finding different ways to make them. It's kind of like making bows. I like making lots of different types of bows. So hopefully this one will inspire you to make your own flowers. And plus it's a good way to use up all that paper that's kind of just sitting there. I know you've got a lot of paper in your stash, so go ahead and use it. Okay, and on to the smaller ones. And so of course these are going to have a tighter curl on them. And I'm just bringing those all the way in. Okay, and now for the fun part. Let's put the smaller ones aside for a moment. We're going to take our base. And you could use cardstock for the base as well if you want. I just wanted to keep all the colors the same. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to start off your flower. Before I do that, I just like to mark my center point here. It doesn't have to be perfect. And I'm just going to get that first one on there, right in the center. So the larger petals will go around the outside. Let's put some around here too. Make sure that's good and stuck on there. Okay. And then we're going to overlap. Let me just show you before I put glue on there. We're going to start overlapping these just a little bit, pulling that to the center as well. And so you just want everything to stick on there. Okay. You see how you have the outside of your flower? You got one more to go. And so I just wanted everything to be even around the outside. And then you could always go back and just put a little bit of glue underneath if you see any parts coming up. Okay, and so now it's time to put our smaller pieces in. Okay, so I'm just going to put the glue right on here. And you just want to kind of put it just toward the bottom part there. And then what I'm doing is, rather than put it directly over this part here, I'm bringing it in the center and I'm kind of putting it in between. Just putting it in between the two. Right in between there. Just continuing around in that circular motion. And you really don't need a lot of glue for this. And I'm still overlapping it. Okay. And so now we need an inner part for this flower. So I'm going to show you how to do that inside part. Okay, so now it's time for the inside part here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some darker paper. I just figured it looked nicer with the dark paper on top of the light. And this is like a kind of a chocolatey brown color. I think those colors look well together. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fold this in half. The long way, just like this. And then I'm just going to make a slight fold. I'm just eyeballing it, just a tiny fold. It'll help me with my cutting later on. You'll see in a moment. Okay, so just like that. And so on the side that has the fold, I'm going to cut right up to this point right here. If you hear noise, that's my dog. He's here again. So all I'm doing is cutting on the fold right up to that line where I folded. Just right there. And this is going to form the inner part of the flower. Super easy and fun to do. And imagine all of the color combinations that you can come up with these. I was just thinking about Mother's Day gifts, just things that you can use to decorate her gifts with. So just a thought. Okay, so this is what it should look like. So now what we're going to do, we're going to start to wrap this around. And you see how that's flailing out like that? That's okay. So what I'm going to do is just put a little bit of glue on here. And I'm going to start kind of rolling this around. Just rolling it around. See if you can see that. So you're going to kind of shape it into a circular thing. At first it'll seem like it's a little bit flat, and then you'll shape it into a circular. Okay, so it's easier for me to do it this way. So I'm just holding it in place and just rolling it around. And every so often I'm putting a little bit of glue on there. It's just amazing the way you can manipulate paper. And it's unraveling a little bit, but don't worry about that. It's okay. Rolling it around, and I'm trying to keep this somewhat flat. So it's not super neat, but it's okay, because this is the part that we want. That part out there is the part that we want. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a little bit of glue and just roll that all the way around there. Okay, so that's what we want, that inner piece that's going to fit inside of the flower. However, you see that? To me, that's not enough for my flower. I need something much more bigger. So there's an easy way to resolve that. And I like to do this in pieces. I'm going to do another one. All I'm going to do is make another piece. I'm just grabbing all of my pieces of paper and I'm just kind of using what I already have. Making that bottom piece to cut on, and I'm just going to do it again, and I'm going to add it to this piece right here. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this up, and I'm going to show you how to add it on. Okay, so I've got another piece here, and all I'm going to do is put some glue on this piece and just continue that rolling around motion. Just adding it right on. And so that way you can gauge how much you want for the inside part. And I want this piece because I'm going to have to glue it inside. This is the part that's going to have the glue on it, and it's going to stand up on the inside of your flower. Okay, so look how that is. It gets bigger and bigger. So if you ever have the need to add more to it, that's the way you do it. You can kind of fan these out a little bit, however you want. It's good and stuck on there too. Okay, and then you can check and see. And I think I want to do one more. I want to do one more for my flower because I want a nice big full inside. Okay, so the inside part is all done, and look how flowery that looks. I am really liking that. And so you can spread it out as much as you want. And then if you don't think it's big enough, you can just keep going around and around with it until it's big enough. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put it inside of here. And so now to me it's big enough to go in there and make our flower. Just one more thing, if you want, when these are rolled up, you can kind of unroll them a little bit if you want your petals to not be so tight on the ends. So that's just another thing that you can do, is to kind of like unravel it just a little bit. So I am really loving the way that looks. So now I'm just going to take some of my glitter glue and put it in there. And then look what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this, and it should hold up pretty good. I'm just going to put it right in the center there, just like that. And look how pretty that looks. I'm so happy with the way this came out. Here's another one that I was working on that I thought came out nice. I put a smaller one in here, but I like the larger one better to me. But just to show you different ideas. And then I thought maybe I could make one with just a single flower, just this inner part, and then add the middle part in also. And so this is what I decided to do. Decided to do one like this. You know, and so I'm just taking scrapbook paper that I've had around for a long time, pretty good while. And I just made little inner parts. I just kind of played with this. It doesn't seem like there's any rules with making the inner part, so you can basically do whatever you want to do. So I hope this inspired you. And this is just another idea of how to make flowers. And I'm going to be sending more ideas your way. But for now, these will look so pretty on a gift. Now that I'm looking at them, and maybe making some matching gift tags or something. There's so much you could do. So thanks for joining me. Don't forget to comment below. I love to read your comments. And thanks for joining me on this journey. Bye.